Shalom everyone, Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan here, and we are live on the IDF's official Facebook page. I am in Ashkelon, and what you can see behind me, the destruction that you can see behind me, is a result of a rocket that was fired by Hamas from Gaza. One of more than 300 rockets that were fired over the last 24 hours. And have a look at the magnitude of the destruction here. This used to be a private home. You can see what happened when the rocket impacted in the center of the house. The level of destruction around. Unfortunately, very sadly, there was an Israeli civilian living here, and she had a personal assistant. She was an elderly lady, and that elderly lady was killed by this rocket attack, this brutal, horrible rocket attack that was done from the Gaza Strip towards Israel. Now look at this and tell me, why does Israel need to defend itself, and why does the IDF need to do what it does in Gaza? Have a look at the level of destruction around me. This is a regular private home. You can see the court. The car, which is quite a few meters away, was also damaged. And if I zoom out and show you other houses in the area, you'll be able to see that even as far as 20 meters away, the house over there, take a look at the roof, there's damage. The car here was totaled, and the entire surroundings, all of the surroundings, were damaged by this rocket that hit in the area and unfortunately led to Israeli casualties. I want to give you a short recap of the situation as it is as we speak. We're about 24 hours into fighting already. This fighting started with Hamas firing rockets at Jerusalem, at our capital, forcing hundreds of thousands of Israeli civilians to run for shelter. They fired 6 rockets then, and since then they have been firing rockets at southern Israel almost relentlessly. This very sad and unfortunate event is not the only one. There are other places in Ashkelon, in southern Israel, as well as in Ashdod, that were hit by rockets, and similar level of destruction was caused, as you can unfortunately see behind me. The IDF said from the early beginnings that this is an aggression. This is an attack, an aggression on Israel that we will not tolerate, and it will not go unanswered. And unlike the terrorists in Gaza, what we're doing when we respond is that we attack the terrorists. We attack Hamas, we attack the Islamic Jihad, and we attack anybody else who is holding arms and trying to fire rockets or missiles or to attack Israel. And over the last night and day, we have killed almost 20 Hamas and Islamic Jihad terrorists all over the Gaza Strip, and we have struck more than 130,000 targets, 130 targets inside the Gaza Strip. Pardon me, I'm a bit excited for being here. So, and in terms of where we are, looking ahead, our orders are based on the fact that Hamas and the Islamic Jihad continue to fire almost relentlessly towards Israeli civilians, trying to kill and terrorize Israeli civilians. Based on that fact, what we have been ordered to do is to continue to escalate and enhance our operations, and to be ready to expand operations into different stages. And I won't go beyond that because we're not at that stage yet. I'd like to say that we follow the international media and we see what's reported, and it's very sad to say that places like these, unfortunately, have not yet made it to the front pages of papers, and instead the international media is focusing on what's happening in Gaza. Sure, it's sad what's happening in Gaza, but the activities in Gaza and the situation in Gaza is because of what Hamas has been doing and because of Hamas's rocket fire towards Israel. And that needs to be remembered, and that needs to be said and emphasized all over the world. The IDF, contrary to this event behind me, then our Iron Dome has been very effective and has intercepted about 90% of the more than 300 rockets that have been fired from Gaza towards Israel. Think about that. 300 rockets, more than that. in a period of less than 24 hours have been fired at Israeli civilians all over the south. Unfortunately, there's still a limited amount of Israeli casualties, and I hope that that will remain the case. I urge you all, whoever sees this, to take notice and to see beyond the basic news that usually reflects events happening on the other side, and understand that Israeli civilians, totally unrelated to fighting, with nothing to do with Hamas or the Islamic Jihad, are targeted in their homes by rockets fired by Hamas and the Islamic Jihad in Gaza. It's a very sad situation, but I can assure you that the IDF is ready, prepared, equipped, and will continue to operate according to our orders and according to the situation on the ground until calm is restored and until Israelis can again be in their homes safely without fear of terrorizing rockets from Gaza. Stay tuned to more official updates here on our official Facebook page. And for those of you who aren't yet following, make sure that you also get push notifications from our Twitter page, and stay tuned for everything that we have to say.